we realized we forgot to introduce ourselves. So I'm Hemant. I'm part of the Atlanta, Columbus, Detroit, Austin centers, because once you leave a center, it's always, there. So, here.
So my name is Vinoj. I'm from Toronto, Canada, Ontario Region 2. We the North.
All right, great. So then we're gonna move on to our next section where we're gonna talk about our next heart-to-heart speaker. And man, I don't even know how to begin talking about this guy. So it's really funny. This is, I think, somewhat Swami's play, right? So we were assigned randomly, the MCs, to the guest speakers and the heart-to-hearts. And I got randomly assigned to this particular person. And it's hilarious because I've known this guy for the last 5 years of my life, and I would not be the man I am today if it weren't for him. He convinced me to go to the college that I went to, and if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have the job I have right now, right? And during college, man, I lost a lot of hair during college, and this guy knows why. So all the all-nighters we pulled, all the jam sessions we did, man, this is a person that I hold very, really dearly and respect very much. He's taught me so much throughout my life, and I hope that he will teach you guys something really cool today too. Currently, he works at the Home Depot and is also part of the SSIO leadership team, sub-team committee, so he's really involved in the community, loves to do service, and he will rock your world today. So bring up Samir Vedantham.
Keep the applause.
Pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord. Today, I'd like to speak a few words on friendship. Relationships and activities define the very nature of human beings. From birth to death, our destiny is defined largely by those whom we call kith and kin. Be born into a good family, be raised with good values, surround yourself with good people, and the probability of you finding joy and success in life is a lot higher than if the opposite defined your circumstances. However, today, at a time when the mass transformation of youth is desperately needed, there are very few noble role models to surround ourselves with. Whom do we look to in order to find solutions, answers, and solace? Therefore, Sakhyam, or friendship with the divine, is the royal lane, in my opinion, on our path to greater spiritual understanding. I feel that it's the only true source for answers and solace. You see, friendship with the divine has the ultimate return on investment, as God is infinite in capacity and form. But let's all try to understand this. A friendship with the divine is total in its nature. It requires total dedication, total surrender, and total acceptance. So, if it's in our true nature, even if there's a slight inkling in our being for the knowledge of the reality, or even a morsel of love for the divine, how do we go about increasing and cultivating this friendship? Because its fruit will definitely leave us speechless. The answer is to slowly take in more. Speak to him at all times, and let's try to rid our mind of the duality of what's good and bad. Give it all to him. Make God the only thing in your life, slowly but surely. See, God can be found equally in a burial ground as walking down the streets of downtown, of wherever you live, as in Prashanti Mandir. So please understand this, brothers and sisters. It's not only our awareness and closeness with the divinity that defines our friendship. It's not our location. And it takes a lot of courage and conviction, in my experience, to say this. I'd like to narrate a small story very dear to my heart about how I speak to Swami and how one of those conversations took place. So one day, a few friends of mine gathered to watch a movie. And as all of my peers were enthralled in the film, my mind was elsewhere. See, I was looking at a clock above the screen, and I was speaking to my best friend, our dear Swami, in my heart. And I told him this: Swami, for so long, I've tried imitating you so that I can be one with you. I've tried to speak like a spiritual person, act like someone with a long beard, maybe even wave my hand. But Swami, this has made me really, really tired. From now on, Swami, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let go and surrender so that you can fill me up with yourself. Then, Swami, I'll be one with you, for you're all that's there. At the exact same moment where I said in my mind, I will be one with you. This is a very private conversation. I was in a room full of people, yet I was completely alone, thinking just to myself, with my dear Swami in my heart. And at that exact same moment, I was sitting on a chair, and a friend who was seated right next to me on the ground, he scooted forward, and his foot grazed my foot. And in typical Indian fashion, he reached out his hand to touch whatever thing that his foot touched and put it up to his forehead. Now, to others in the room who were definitely not watching, it may seem like a coincidence. But to me, it was a powerful message that my Lord is always with me. And this is the best way to connect to him. See, I realized that day that through surrender, combined with friendship with the divine, he could give Pada Namaskar to anyone, anywhere, at any time. It was this incident that proved to be a great turning point for me in my life. I dare to be divine, not because of status or wealth or my education, but because God is all there is. And for as long as this mortal body is destined to exist, my eternal and my only friend is my very divinity, your very divinity, our dear Lord Sai. So from this instrument to all instruments everywhere, I bow to the omnipresent divinity and conclude my remarks. Sairam.
All right. Thank you, Samir. That was powerful. Really resonated with that message of surrender and that moment that you realized that you want to become one with the Lord. So thank you for sharing. Let's give it another round of applause.